Many congratulations to the top three qualifiers for the 2021 FIA Formula One Styrian Grand Prix. Qualifying in third place, Lewis Hamilton. In second place, Valtteri Bottas. And taking the sixth pole of his career and his third of the 2021 campaign, our pole sitter, Max Verstappen. Max, many congratulations. Another tremendous pole by you. Just how good were you in the car out there today?
Yeah, I think it clicked quite well in qualifying. We made a few little adjustments and it seemed like that was a good step forward. So yeah, just getting through the tires, making sure that you would qualify on the medium in Q2, because the gaps, around here with all the other teams as well are quite small. So it was not, let's say, super easy to get through Q2 with that tire, but we managed to do that. And yeah, pretty pleased in Q3. That first lap was, was pretty good. My second run was a little bit worse just because I was the last one in the train, so my tires I think were just a little bit too cold to start the lap. But nevertheless, yeah, it was a good qualifying.
As you say, that first lap in Q3 was pretty good, to quote you. Just how close to the perfect lap was it?
I find it always quite difficult around here. I mean, there are not many corners, but still, there are like turn 3, 4. It's easy to lose like one half tenths if you just miss an apex, or you are too deep in, or when you on the exit have a moment. So I would say there are a few other tracks out there which are a bit easier to nail the lap. But yeah, it was good. I'm never satisfied, but it was pretty good.
And you've got Lewis on the front row with you tomorrow. Another close race in prospect.
I guess so. Yeah, seemed like in the long runs again we're quite closely matched. Of course, that's yesterday. Today was again a bit of a different day, so we'll see tomorrow. But I expect it, of course, again to be close, and hopefully, of course, it will be an exciting one again.
Great, thank you, Max. Valtteri, coming to you. Well done, another great qualifying for you. How pleased are you with the job that you did today?
I honestly think it was good qualifying. I think I've been a little bit lost with the setup during the weekend so far, but then being able to go in the right direction with the setup. We've been working closely with Lewis as well to try and find the optimal setup, and definitely got some guidance from his side of the garage this weekend, because I was definitely lacking a bit of pace on Friday, and was a bit confused like which way to go. And yeah, we were working as a team, found the right direction, and I think thanks to that I found the confidence in the car and felt good. And yeah, that last lap, definitely there was no 2/10 on the table, so I think Max and Red Bull were faster today. It was a good lap, and so yeah, I'm pleased for that. Of course, it's a shame I have the penalty, but obviously the job today was trying to maximize the situation.
Can you shed a little bit more light on the work that you and Lewis have shared this weekend? What information was particularly useful for you?
It's nothing new, to be honest. It's always very open in terms of what kind of setups we're running and what are we planning to do, etc. So it's nothing unusual, but and I don't want to go into the fine details, but I think we're discovering a lot about the car now, that you can go so many different ways with the setup, and it's actually quite easy to get confused which direction to go, and we keep learning and we keep optimizing, and yeah, we need to keep learning, because it's a tough battle ahead still this season.
And as you say, you've got that 3-place grid penalty tomorrow. You're going to start 5th. How easy is it to move forward around the Red Bull ring?
I don't think it's the easiest. I think the middle sector, the high-speed corners, and the last 2 corners is the tricky part to follow closely. But yeah, there's long straights, and if you have the pace, if you have the right strategy, for sure we can move up. And that's of course going to be the aim. And in terms of strategy, yeah, we're starting with the medium tire. I think there's some guys I'm battling with who are starting on the soft, so that can play a part.
Great, thank you, Valtteri. Lewis, coming to you. Clearly pushing very hard throughout that session. Just how tough was it for you out there?
Yeah, it was a difficult session for me. I generally have had a really good weekend so far. Of course, not as quick as Max, but I did a lot of work before the event, and then car was feeling great all day yesterday. We've just been chipping away at it, and really not each change is just trying to eke out like 10 milliseconds or something. But and then I got into qualifying, and the car just didn't feel as great as it did in P3. I don't fully understand it. So it wasn't really that, I wouldn't say that I was particularly that quick in qualifying. But nonetheless, I'm really happy to be where we are. Yeah, as Valtteri said, the next two tenths is a little bit difficult. They've had straight line speed again here this weekend, which is hard for us to compete with. But I'm really proud of the team for just continuing to push hard, not leave any stone unturned.
What were your expectations coming into qualifying?
I didn't really have an expectation. I just expected to have I wanted to have a good session. I wanted to deliver a decent lap, and in P3 I did a lap, and I was like, that's the one that I need for Q3, and I got nowhere near it. So, but these things happen, and yeah, we gave it everything, and we've got a long race tomorrow. So I hope that the balance works for us. It's going to be a tough battle with these guys. I think they've generally had the edge throughout the weekend, and the analysis last night was that they're a quarter of a second ahead on long run pace. I hope through work we've closed that gap.
Max referred to the queue at the start of that final run in Q3. You jumped ahead. Did that in any way cost you on that final lap?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, in hindsight, I mean, I knew that everyone was just going so slow, and I was worried of not having the tyres up to temperature, but I went on all the dirty lines, so just picking up all the dirt on the tyres, and then a poor exit out of the last corner. So already by turn 1 is a tenth down, and then already by turn 3 was 2 tenths down, so no hope in that respect, and then naturally tried to overdrive to gather that pace, that time lost back, and it didn't work. So,
okay, thank you, Lewis. Let's open this to the floor, and we'll start, please, with Andrew Benson from the BBC.
Thanks, Tom. This one's for Valtteri. Valtteri, can you give a little bit more explanation as to what happened with your incident in the pit lane yesterday? You were using second gear, it said on the steward's report, presumably to reduce wheel spin because of the problems that you both had in France. So why did you have so much wheel spin? What happened? Why did it go so wrong?
It definitely caught me out. Never imagined that would happen on the pit lane. But yeah, it's we decided to try something different, launch with a second gear, because sometimes with a higher gear you have lower revs, and maybe you can manage the wheel spin, or the initial part is not so aggressive. But then once I got the wheel spin, it really caught me out, and I don't know, perhaps the line on the pit lane was still slightly damp from the drizzle. I just couldn't hold it. Obviously, quite a different behavior with the second gear than the first gear. So that happened.
Thank you, Valtteri. Let's go to Alex Kalinauckas next, please. Autosport.
Thanks, Tom. It's a question to Lewis, please. Lewis, we saw you doing 3 runs in Q3. I just wondered if you could just explain the thinking behind that, and did it work out as you hoped?
I was told that I had 3 tyres and I could use them all, so I was like, yeah, I'll throw everything at it, give it 3 shots, and in the hope to close the gap to that 2 tenths to Max. But yeah, as I said, the last one, not great when there's all those people out there and you're not able to get the temperature in the tyres. But as I said, we did everything we could.
Thank you, Lewis. Next, please, Scott Mitchell from The Race.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, it's a question for Valtteri and then Lewis, please. Valtteri, just on the penalty that you've got, do you think that's a fair punishment for what happened yesterday? And then to Lewis, were you trying the sort of pit box exit in second gear as well? Thank you.
My personal view is quite harsh. I never imagined after that there would be a penalty, but of course, other teams, when they see the opportunity, they complain that it's dangerous, etc., so that we would get penalized. That's how it goes. So everyone is always trying to screw you over in this sport. Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure, it can be a dangerous situation if there's many people in the pit lane, but no.
Thank you. Andrew, you've got a follow-up?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Max, this is for you. We've seen in the past that the Honda engines had an advantage at circuits with altitude, or rather at altitude, I should say, Brazil, Mexico, and here. Do you think that's carried over into this year on the evidence of this weekend?
We've always been quite good with altitude, but I think next time I'm gonna bring a printout of the rear wing difference we're running, and then I'm gonna hand it over to every single journalist. So everyone, because I get this question now, 2 questions, like 2 or 3 weeks now, that we are really quick on the straight, and yes we are, but look at our rear wing. I don't think it's exactly the same, and for sure Honda did a great job. I mean, compared to last year, but from our first engine to the engine we have in the car now, it's all about reliability improvements and no clear advantage on pure power. So I'm gonna fire up my printer next time, and I'm gonna hand over a few shots.
Thank you, Max. Lewis, sorry, I interrupted Scott's question about second gear getaways. Are you trying that?
No, I haven't tried it.
Haven't tried it. Okay. Thank you. Let's go back to Alex, please. Alex Kalinauckas.
Thanks, Tom. This is a question for Max, please. Max, sometimes you've spoken in the past about the difficulty of running the medium tyres in Q2 and then getting back up to speed for the first runs in Q3. Obviously, that didn't happen today. Your pole time came from the first run in Q3. So was it easier, that sort of making that step and that adjustment this time around? Thank you.
I think my engineer actually fired me up in that one, because he was upset that I didn't do this cycle lap on the soft. So he came on the radio when I boxed, and he was like, "Why? I mean, I know you were held up into turn 1, but you should have pushed for the lap to see how the tires were." So I didn't answer, but I think secretly inside it did fire me up to push a bit harder on that first run in Q3.
Thanks, Max. Any more questions from the floor? No more questions, in which case we'll leave it there. Well done today, guys, and good luck in the race tomorrow. Thank you.